So DD2 Masters, Heat 1, Race 7 of the meeting. On pole position, the 561 of Poland's Sławomir Morański. Alongside will be the 544 of France's Rudy Champion. Then it is a man simply known as De Bakker, Karl Klebold, formerly known as the fastest baker in Flanders. 510 from Belgium will have France's Bruno dos Santos alongside. Mario Winkler from Germany in the 566 will have Frank Lavergne from France in the 536 alongside. Andreas Schindler and Ido Adresani make it an all-German row 4. Christoph Adams in the 555 in 9th will have Klaus Parne alongside in 10th place. Then we'll also have Jan Karlsson, Tanju Yildiz in the 507 and 572. Konrad Bayer and Frederik Bekert from Germany and the Netherlands respectively will start on row number 7. And we'll have Rodrigo Pinelos and also Maxim Shaposhnikov from Russia. 10 minutes plus an additional lap set on the counter here at Circuito Internacional de Karting Campillos. Fantastic circuit, really lovely Andalusian countryside as far as the eye can see, and some great roads around here, very sweeping corners. I think Sarah Moore will agree with me. We saw a sign with an S-bend last night coming back from having had dinner with the rest of the crew, and it had 2 flashing amber lights on it, and we've now named it the wannabe S-bend, because what we consider an S-bend in the UK, it's very tight and twisty. This was like an open field. So an S-bend in Spain is not what it actually looks like. When you come to it, it's a different proposition from what the sign actually tells you. So the red lights ignited on the starting gantry for the first bit of action for DD2 Masters at the 2020 Rotax Max Challenge Winter Cup here at Circuito Internacional de Karting Campillos, with Morański on pole on the left-hand side of the screens, Champion on the right. We go lights out for 10 minutes as we get an initial good start from both Morański and Karl Klebold as they go up the hill, bouncing off the curbs as they go up towards turn 5 for the first time, and Karl Klebold really hounding Rudy Champion for second position. So Karl Klebold, who finished P35th, ahead of Christoph Adams. They both made it into the final stages of the Grand Finals in Sarno, but unfortunately a first lap incident took them out. But Karl had a 100% winning race streak in the first 2 meetings of the B&L Karting Series, as Christoph Adams really doing a good job as well. He's now up into 7th position. He's now ahead of the 536 of Frank Lavergne, it looks like, who's running on a Sodi kart chassis. But Morański leads, Rudy Champion in 2nd place, Karl Klebold in 3rd, and at the moment it is the 503 of Bruno dos Santos from France who rounds out the top 4 positions. Mario Winkler, then we've got Andreas Schindler, Christoph Adams, Frank Lavergne, Ido Adresani, Klaus Parne rounding out the top 10. So still plenty of action to be had with 8 minutes and 36 on the clock, plus an additional lap. Karl Klebold dropping off a little bit behind Rudy Champion by about 0.4 of a second on the last lap around. Fastest lap of the race, no surprise here, is the person that's got a clear track ahead in his general 2020 vision. That is Sławomir Morański. Very different race helmet from what I've seen from him in previous times, but it's very Tron Legacy-esque, if I must admit. So the karting equivalent of Clue there, maybe. But Morański doing a great job. Rudy Champion running about 0.3 of a second adrift in terms of lap times. And it's gone up to 0.6 of a second between first and second. But there's a little bit of action, I think, between Winkler and Schindler, possibly for what is... And then Christoph Adams is about to join that battle, along with Frank Lavergne and Ido Adresani, not that far behind. So you can just see as they're wrestling with the curbs here, as Bruno dos Santos goes absolutely well, he goes for it up the in through turn 6 and turn 5. The curbs are very aggressive here at Wintercup Campillos, and if you hit the curbs too hard, and obviously with the way that they sit in these seats, it can affect the ribs depending on the angle and the severity of the impact itself, as Conrad Bayer found out earlier on this week, as I alluded to earlier on. But Slavomir Moransky continues to lead. We've got 7 minutes plus an additional lap left to go on this particular race. The first of 2 heats for DD2 Masters. So we'll find out how things proceed after the intermediate classification, which will be released on the official results this evening. All results that are being called today are provisional, pending any sporting and technical regulatory checks. As there's a nice move up the inside. That is for 4th place, and I think that is that might be Schindler. I think Schindler's taken P5 at the minute. So Moransky leading from Champion, Clairbolt. That is Andreas Schindler. Schindler, I think, has got past Bruno dos Santos, or has he? That is Andreas Schindler. And then you've got Bruno dos Santos just behind. Then it's the 5.66 of Winkler, followed by Christoph Adams. Then it's Frank Laverne, Adrisani in 9th place, Klaus Parnet. Then we've also got Jan Carlsson in the 5.07, being followed by Tanju Yildiz from Germany in the 5.72. Whenever I see that guy, he's one of the nicest guys you could ever meet. Always has a positive attitude, no matter what kind of mood he might be in. And always a very, very genuine character too. But I'm just keeping an eye on what's been happening because Schindler now is dropping Bruno dos Santos a little bit here. So dos Santos is leading what's going to effectively be a 5-cart train. So it's Winkler, Adams, Laverne and Adrisani, who's in the 5.46 as they just come through turn 11 just now. And keeping an eye, looks like Schindler's just set a personal best. So the 3 of the top 4, as there was a little look up the inside of Klaus Parnet from Tanju Yildiz. So Yildiz, who's running with FM Racing, who have Maxi, I think a couple of drivers that have raced in the Euro Trophy before. Maxi Fleischmann, who was our vice champion in 2018 in DD2, and also Jan Schwitter from Switzerland. Gap now between Moransky and Champion now moves up to just over 1 second between 1st and 2nd position. Carl Klebort running in the 1 minute 4s. Low 1 minute 4s at the minute is the Belgian in the 5.10. Schindler running in the 1 minute 3.7s. So he's just done a personal best. Moransky's faster than anyone else in sector number 1 with a 20.2 second sector 1. Champion 0.3 of a second off. Clairbolt 0.4 of a second off. Schindler's only 0.2 of a second off. It's a purple sector for Dos Santos, Laverne and Adrisani, who all do a 20.6. And Laverne is actually closing on the back bumper of Christoph Adams. So Laverne is about 2 kart lengths away from the Belgian as they head down towards turn 15. And Laverne pounces on the 555 and gets past 4th position through turn 16. So that was a very good bit of work there from Franck Laverne from France. And now about 0.2 of a second up the road, he's got Winkler from Germany up ahead. So effectively there's still quite a lot that could be pretty much decided in the next 3 minutes and 18 seconds plus additional lap still to go. We do still have 2 more races after this to conclude the morning action and then we'll have a brief lunch break before the racing gets back underway a little bit later on this afternoon. So the first race of the afternoon will be race 10, which is the 5th heat for seniors. That'll be at 1:45 p.m. local time here in southern Spain. And now Carl Klebort has got Andreas Schindler breathing down the back of his Team Belgium race overalls now. So Schindler is about 2 kart lengths adrift of the Belgian. So they go down the back straight away, heading into turn 1. Up the hill now, slight ascent towards the right-hand camber in turns 2 and 3. Up into 4, now into the left at 5. And then they go down a slight descent into turn 6, which puts them into a dip. And then up the hill through turn 7, putting the power down, going through turn 8, down the hill towards turn number 9. And Schindler is really looking racy. The 5.15 from Germany, who won the Euro Trophy Open for DD2 Masters last year, which took him to Le Mans last year for the inaugural international trophy, which we are giving tickets away for this weekend through the classes that are here with us, part of the €31,000 prize fund. Andreas Schindler is really going deep into the braking into turn 16 for what is effectively the battle for third place, as Frank Levin looks to be closing on Winkler and is bringing along Adams and Adrisani. And that is the battle for 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th position. Jan Karlsson in the 5.07 still running in 10th place, as there's a move up the inside from Adrisani on Christoph Adams through turn 5. That was absolutely timed to perfection, nice and clean from the German, but Adams, the steely veteran that he is in terms of the experience out on circuit, you don't become a 14-time participant by just sheer luck in the grand finals. As the movers happen, Andreas Schindler went round the outside of Karl Klebort through turn number 12. So very, very good indeed from Andreas Schindler to get past Karl Klebort from Buvin Power. We now go on to the penultimate lap of the race as Slavomir Moransky crosses the start-finish line, as has Rudy Champion, who's now 2.1 seconds adrift. But Schindler now has to defend. Karl Klebort pounces on the German up the inside, doesn't get through on turn 1. Schindler had the measure and had the run through turns 1, 2 and 3. And Karl Klebort was just that little bit further back than he probably would have wanted at that particular time. So Karl Klebort still has a possible opportunity if he's lucky, but with it being the final lap of this race, he is a good 6 to 8 kart lengths behind Andreas Schindler on this particular occasion. So he's got to really try and close up the gap at the end of this one. And the gap now between Andreas Schindler and Rudy Champion is now 3 seconds. As Moransky comes through into turn 18. Last lap board is shown. So Moransky goes on to last lap as he's now extended the gap by nearly a tenth over Rudy Champion. Schindler has got 6/10 of daylight between himself and Karl Klebort as they make their way up the hill through turns 3, 4, 5. Now down the slight dip into 6. And then through the triple right, which is 7. Up the hill, putting the power down, through the crest at 8, and then down the descent into turn 9, another right-hand sweeper before they fly their way down into turn 10 before whacking on the brakes, hitting the apex into turn 11. A short blast up to turn 12, which Andreas Schindler is doing right now as Slavomir Moransky exits the apex of turn number 14. Down the back straightaway goes the pole from 46 team. Through into turn 16 he comes, and now out of the final corner will come 46 teams Poland hotshot. That is Slavomir Moransky to open the scoring books for DD2 Masters at the Euro Trophy Winter Cup. Rudy Champion in second, 2.5 seconds adrift, ahead of Andreas Schindler, who got the better of Karl Klebort from Belgium in the battle for third place. Bruno dos Santos takes 5th ahead of Marco Winkler in the 5.666. Ido Adrisani and Jan Karlsson would finish ahead of Christoph Adams in 7th and 8th respectively, with the Belgian finishing in 9th place. Klaus Parnet in 10th for Germany. Frederick Baker would then finish the race down in 11th ahead of Shaposhnikov from Russia, with Benilos from Germany in 13th place. with Laverne and Yildiz ending up a lap down at the end of the race, which probably might have been a retirement, but then with 3 laps left to go, Konrad Bayer might have just decided to see a bit of sense and decided to rest for later on this afternoon. But Slavomir Moransky opens his scoring books with a convincing win here in Andalusia at Circuito Internacional de Karting Campillos for DD2 Masters.